It is now my pleasure to introduce our next honoree, the wonderful, brilliant Julie Su. Julie is a fierce advocate for strengthening the rights of workers and building a more just and inclusive economy. She acted as the U.S. Secretary of Labor under President Biden, and during her tenure with the administration, she focused on raising labor standards and aggressively enforcing our nation's fair wage laws, something that this administration doesn't know anything about. So we understand how important that was. Under her leadership, the department also expanded training and apprenticeship programs and sought to break down long-standing barriers that prevent women, people of color, and other communities from securing high-paying jobs in our workforce. Before her tenure in federal government, Julie spent many years as a civil rights attorney and a labor leader, fighting for workers in California. We are delighted to recognize her extraordinary record of public service. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to our next honoree, Julie Su.
Thank you so much and good evening. Note to self, never appear in a speaker lineup after the bishop. But it's so good to be here with all of you, and it's so wonderful to be introduced by my dear friend Jocelyn, who has been such an extraordinary leader of this organization, and with whom it was such a great privilege to work to show what a true pro-worker, pro-union, pro-woman, pro-justice, pro-freedom administration working in partnership with organizations could really accomplish. So thank you to you, Jocelyn. Thank you to the staff and to the board of the National Partnership for all of that. And to my fellow honorees, I'm truly overwhelmed to be recognized among you. Actually, Joy, we talked about this a little bit backstage, but a couple months ago, we were in Selma together for the 60th anniversary of the march across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. In fact, Jocelyn and I ran into each other on the bridge. And one thing I remember Joy saying on the night before the anniversary was how important it was to keep on using our voices. And when the platforms that we once had were no longer available, we still have to find a way. And for 50 years, this is something that the National Partnership has been doing. In good times, in bad times, advancing really important policies, and then not just getting the policies put in place, but working on the actual implementation of them. Because as we all know, policies are just good ideas and words on paper if they're not actually implemented. And the National Partnership really specializes in making sure to breathe life into policies. Speaking of words on paper, the words that fill up the mission and the website for the National Partnership, and Jocelyn already said this at the beginning, but are words like equity, inclusion, women and women of color, social justice, combating racism and systemic oppression. And again, for them, it's not just words, it's actually the work of breathing life into them. And I think it's no coincidence that those are the exact same words that this administration used to conduct a government-wide word search to decide what programs and people needed to be eliminated, right? And so what that tells me, I think what that should tell all of us, is that this administration is terrified of the work of the National Partnership, is terrified of you and is terrified of us, and is really deeply afraid that the world that we can imagine is the world that we can build. And that's why they are so hell-bent on turning back the clock. I also just want to take a moment to acknowledge the incredible team that I got to work with at the Department of Labor. I don't know if Wendy Chun-Hoon is still in the room. I know. But Wendy Chun-Hoon, who led our Women's Bureau, and is just such a treasure. And also to Taylor, Emma, I see you, to Liv, and to Valeria, who are all here, who worked in the secretary's office. What we did was hard. It was not always pleasant, but what it reinforced for me was something that I've seen throughout my life, that when you take a village of women that support each other, that dream together, that are honest with each other, and that have each other's backs, we can accomplish things that most people believe are impossible. So as Jocelyn said, during our time in the department, we enforced labor laws, we kept workers safe, we made sure that they got protected family leave, and we enforced the law that says that women have to get a place to express breast milk at work that is not a factory floor or a bathroom stall. And we also funded programs that showed that when women are given a real chance, there's nothing that we can't do. And I got to travel the country to meet many of those women, women like Mariah, who actually learned about a women-only apprenticeship cohort when she was in line for food stamps. And she joined that program and ended up making 4 times what she'd made ever before in her life and never looked back. And women like Jazz, who had trouble finding a job after incarceration and got a shot through this program and is now a leader in that program, paying it forward for other women. But today, the Department of Labor has cut the funding for all of those programs. Yeah. So let's be clear about something. In destroying the federal government from the inside, the current administration has said it's because what government does is serve radical interest groups. If making sure that women get good jobs, jobs that we've not been able to have before, is radical, then let's be radical. If it's radical to ensure a just day's pay for a hard day's work and equal pay, then let's be radical. If it's radical to make caregiving available and caregivers valued, and to protect Black mothers before, during, and after childbirth, then give me radical. If it's radical to teach our children our full history, then we should definitely be radical. And if it's radical to say that working people should not have to demand, but should be able to expect a job with security and dignity, and to be able to go to the doctor when they're sick without breaking the bank, and to be able to retire with dignity and a pension at the end of work, and that families can enjoy time together because it doesn't take multiple jobs to build a life, then let's be as radical as we can be. So let's join the National Partnership for all of their work in breathing life into ideas like diversity, inclusion, equity, by using radical organizing and radical solidarity. I can't think of a better way to respond to the challenges of this moment. Thank you all so much for this honor.